Weed?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
Like-
What's weed?
Yeah, my boss is a fan.
Okay,
so.
I'm not. I'm gonna because in my line of
Wait,
work.
you're not a fan?
No, I'm
No,
saying.
I'm just playing.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So I'm not. I'm gonna talk about all the weed that
There you
I
go.
possibly can smoke.
And I'm going to ask a few questions about it, I guess.
Oh, for sure,
because
man.
I don't know. Who knows?
Ask me, man.
Well, I guess that's what it is. Because black and ugly as ever. However, say Houston down to my socks. Do I have socks on? No, I got on loafers. I'm adulting today. Yes, it's Avery, like a very nice guy, a.k.a. Carlton Banks, failed producer, whatever you want to call me. I sell cars too, you bitch. Also, here with my brother, nigga I just met, Just Devon.
Yeah, that's me. Hi, how's it going?
He doesn't even like it. Yeah, one of the greatest writers that I've ever met in my entire life as well. He's a newscaster. He's also a boxing legend.
Have you met any other writers?
Yes. Why can't I be happy for you?
No, I'm just saying. I mean, it doesn't. It doesn't think like if I was
why can't?
oh, that's the greatest astronaut I ever met. But it's like I ain't never met no astronaut. So
why can't I be happy?
That's
You
cool.
wrote.
That's cool.
You know, I read a lot of your articles on allhiphop.com. You know. SOHH.com. You had like a couple there.
Yeah.
Also, you write for the Houston Press. Also, you have a professional life that we talk about, but
we
Give
try
him
not
those
to talk
flowers,
about it. We
man.
try not
Give
to
him
talk
those
about it. Not on camera.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And we got a special guest. Every guest is special, but this one's especially special because he has a luxurious beard. And what'd you say?
do.
Your voice. You have a great
I
speaking
have a great
voice.
speaking voice.
See, and
I do.
the energy, the vibes, if you will, the vibes in here are like really dope.
vibes.
Yeah, I did.
Right.
The vibes.
The vibes are dope.
They're here, man.
Yeah.
like an Instagram girl.
Boy Dru.
Vibes.
Boy
Boy
Dru, man.
Dru.
The
Boy
charm
Dru.
guy.
Boy Dru.
The charm guy.
The charm god. Explain the charm god, brother.
Well, some moniker I picked up from being a ladies' man at one point.
Mm-hmm. One point.
So, a chick told me, she was like, you're so charming. You're a charm guy. I was like, that shit's dope. I'm going to take it and put it on records.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
And I
you're not a
kept it.
ladies' man anymore.
Nah, I'm married, man. I got a wife. I got kids.
Life.
So, yeah, life, man.
100.
Yeah.
100.
I mean, don't get it fucked up, though. I could still, put the Mac on.
Well, hold on.
Yeah,
buddy.
well,
you gotta
let's not
protect
get nobody in
yes,
trouble.
no,
now.
don't
Nobody
get
gets
me
in trouble here on this show.
Nah,
So-
I'm not gonna get in trouble, man. And y'all will learn that I'm an open book. I'm pretty blunt. I say whatever. So.
He is pretty blunt. I mean, you just got to listen to the music. And that's what we're getting at now. So
Yeah.
let's get to this. Basically, like, where did you, from the beginning, like, where did you start? When did you know, number one, where are you from?
I'm from here in Houston, man. Born and raised. I'm from South Park.
South Park?
Went to
South
Worthing
Park?
High School.
Worthing.
So, yeah, I'm from Houston. I went to Virginia for a little bit, though. After high school, went to the Navy.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Thank
was
you
in-
for serving. Seriously,
Oh,
man.
man.
I mean it from the bottom of my heart.
You know what I'm saying? Did that. No problem. It was my pleasure. It was rough. I really did it for a check and some school.
Was it worth it? The
was
check
worth
in the school, was it worth it?
It was worth it, man. Funny story,
Yeah.
man. I remember being in the room and the commander was like, "Why'd you come?" And I was like, "It was for education." He asked other people too. They was like, "Education." He was like, "Y'all know why y'all came?" He was like, "Why? To die." I was like, hey, he's got a point.
Oh.
And I went and bought some cigarettes after that and started smoking for a little bit.
Wow.
But anyways, no, it worked out because I'm alive.
That's
I'm
a
here.
sobering.
Yeah.
I was like, ugh.
yeah.
Like, let me get this in perspective for y'all.
You came here to die.
That was heavy.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was in Virginia, and I always wanted to do music. I've always loved music and producing and things like that. So while I was in the military, I started producing for guys, and then also after producing for guys, I met other people who were doing music that were connected to people in the industry. And became really good friends with this cat named BJ, who happened to be the manager for the Money Making Jam Boys, which was Black Dot.
Yep.
Cash Rock Porn, all that, right?
I listened to that album.
So we
MMJ, yeah.
Yeah, we became really good
MMJB.
friends. And then me and Chuck North became really good friends out of that situation. And also Stally, y'all know who Stally is.
Oh,
Luxurious
yes.
beard.
That's my
That's
brother.
a
The
super
Houstonian
beard.
that's not from Houston.
It's,
Like, he
okay.
dropped so much Houston music
Hey,
Yeah.
that I'm like,
he would
yo.
love to hear this. I'm gonna share it, Stanley.
Oh, please,
I told you.
please.
Oh
he's
no,
here.
no.
He dropped.
Yeah.
We are both fans.
so
He
much.
put me on Stanley.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I said
yeah.
this man screws and chops like every song.
Yeah.
Like this man dropped so much Houston.
Before
like, he's-
Maybach
Man.
music. That's he put me on.
He loves Houston, man. So
yeah.
Oh, yeah, we can tell.
and we love him. So getting those relationships, I was like, hey, I got these relationships out of nowhere. Maybe I should be doing this. You know, but no matter how I do it, I just want to do it. Whether I'm managing, facilitating relationships or whatever, I'll just do it. And being a producer, it's hard to get placements. So I was like, I'll just rap on my own shit and I'll just start rapping. So I was a part of a couple groups, but then I released this record called The Gate with Brady Watt and Decap. Brady Watt is Pilot Talk 2. So a lot of the bass on there with Ski Beats, that's Brady Watt. And he's also doing something now called Bass and Bars, which is blowing up. So he's done that, you know, he's worked with DJ Premier and all these people. Also a very good friend of mine.
DJ Premier,
Yeah.
H-Town Zone, well Prairie View Zone.
Yeah,
but still.
Prairie View. But still, we'll
It's the same. It's the same.
It's all the same. It's
We
all the
include
same.
Pimp C, so we can
I'm about
include
to say it's
him.
all
Right.
the same.
I did a record with him and Decap, and music off of there got featured on Vinyl Destination, Jazzy Jazz Vinyl Destination.
Wow.
And so I was just like, yo, man, like after that album, I was like, Boi Dru, this is what I need to be like. Okay, that's it. Like, this is what I'm gonna do. And I've done, I did stuff before, and all those people that's been on the show, like Rob, you know, I met them through my journey, but like that album was like, you know, in 2014, I was like, okay, I'm going to do it this way. You know.
So
what
wait a
I'm
minute
saying?
then. Before the Navy, you had no plans on doing music or anything like that?
I did, man, but I didn't, you know, it's Houston. Okay, this is 2003. This is Houston. There is no, like, where could I really go to get on? I'm in South Park. I didn't really do well in high school. I don't want to be in South Park. And I see the white van pull up. I'm like, I'm going to the Navy. I really thought that I would spend the rest of my life there, you know, do 20 years and then get out. So really, music just kind of kept really coming at me. And I just got put in some positions to, like, wake up today and be like, damn, I know a lot of people
Okay.
that I'm, like, friends with. You know what I'm saying? So it just kind of came about. And then I was just like, yo, man, I want to do this. I'll do it full time. I'll take a chance.
But even with that and being in the Navy, did you play an instrument? Well, like, what got you into music?
So,
Period.
well, my dad, okay, so let's talk about my love for music. I think I see where you're going with that. My dad is a music major, even though he's a teacher now. He teaches, like, economics and shit like that. But he's a trumpet player. And music has always been a big part of my life. So we didn't just listen to, you know, soul music, of course, like Earth, Wind and Fire, Gap Band, things like that. We listened to the Eagles, ZZ Top, classical music. I mean, you name it. Anything that sounded good, that was good. All the Motown stuff. I got a plethora of things up in my head that I listen to, or just people that I've always been a fan of. So Sunny 99.1, that's your fault, because we would just like ride home after school listening to that, and I would just be like, oh, I like Bonnie Raitt. That's dope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a jam that. Okay. And so I just loved music. I really wanted to make music, but, you know, I couldn't play an instrument. So what is the way to channel the artistic expression in our generation? Is rap, it's hip hop. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. You know, let me try to do that. And I've always loved hip hop too. I mean, I remember listening, you know, as a little kid to NWA, Fuck the Police, and all that. And my dad coming in telling my sister to turn it off. Dr. Dre, the Dr. Dre album, The Chronic, and, you know, Tribe Called Quest, all that. So it's so much going on in my head that when I finally realized I want to make music, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. You know, it's gonna be hip hop. That's gonna be the genre. But, you know, I want to make the music. I want to produce it. You know, so when I was like in the 9th grade, I had like a Yamaha, but they had like the DJX Yamaha keyboard.
I know which one that
Yeah,
is.
the keyboard.
Yeah.
Terrible sound.
And yeah, terrible. But you had like 4 tracks you could work with.
Yep.
And then that's kind of like where I started. And so I was just doing that and I perfected that. At first, my beat sounded sort of like Chronic 2001 because I wanted to be Dr. Dre so bad.
Didn't we all?
Yeah, I wanted to be him so bad.
I did the same.
And so then I just went from there and, you know, just perfected it. Got in the Navy and, you know, now this is the age where we're coming out of analog. We're really getting out of analog and we're
Yeah.
really going digital.
Yeah.
So things are just kind of hazy as far as how, you
05,
know.
06.
Yeah, like, okay, you know, should I get the MPC or should I get Reason? Reason comes out now. I'm like,
Yep.
oh, Reason, this is digital. I could just get in there. I
Yep.
could load the sounds up.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It was like, I was like a kid in a candy store from that point. So, you know, just kind of went from there. You know, led me up to that point. I started producing around that time. And like I said, again, Navy, got out the Navy, came back to Houston and put my foot on the gas.
So were you using Reason at that time?
In the Navy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was using Reason up until I came back to Houston, and then I would say probably 2013 I started using Native Instruments machine.
Okay.
Native Instruments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's-
dope. And so, but now I'm at a place though where I'm just like, okay, hook up Pro Tools, let's bring it all together. You know, live
you can
instruments
make
and all
it
that.
all.
I'm leaving some pieces out too because actually before I came back to Houston, there's a guy named Brad Rosenberg who's a friend of mine who was happened to be a friend of Chad from the Neptunes. So
I was wondering because you're in Virginia.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
like, who do you run into from Virginia?
Yeah,
Missy?
definitely
the
ran-
Neptunes,
You can
anybody
hear
like
A
let's hear it.
Neptune. Yeah.
definitely ran into Chad, man, a couple times, and so I got to hear how he produces by
Okay.
himself.
Oh my gosh.
So I heard a lot of unreleased stuff. I'm not gonna get in trouble for saying that, but I heard a lot of unreleased stuff, and so that's when I started working with musicians. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna make some beats in the box in the DAW, and then I'll bring some musicians to play over top, and I like how that sounds. So really, I spent a lot of this time, man, just perfecting my craft and learning the terrain of the industry because it has changed so much.
It really has in the past
So-
like 15 years.
Yeah,
it's totally different.
It's
Yeah.
been changing, man. So.
What would you say is the biggest thing in your mind that's changed, and how have you kind of gotten around it, or how have you worked with it?
The biggest thing is it is now on me. It is all on me. I just need a budget. I need to see how to maximize my budget or take the money that I make from what I'm doing and make more money from that. And what I mean by it's all on me is I can now walk into the studio. I can record a song. I can mix and master that song in the same place. Honestly, I'm sorry I spit it. But I can mix and master that song in the same place. I can distribute it the same day. I can on all outlets. I can put it on SoundCloud. I can release my own merch. I am everything that the label is for myself. All I need is a budget. I'm a walking label who needs a budget. And to me, today, that couldn't have been said probably even 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
kind of.
absolutely.
I mean, maybe, but you still needed to get stuff printed up. You still need to go
Yeah.
here and there. I
You're
mean, you
right.
really don't. I mean, that's what kind of why the blog is not even like a big
Yeah.
deal anymore. Remember, people was blowing
Oh,
up on
yeah.
blogs.
Oh yeah,
so,
yeah.
you know, I can put it all out. And so now, since that's a thing, you must constantly create content. You must constantly create content. So as artists, we have a different beast that we're handling right now. You should drop. You know, for myself, my goal is an EP a month, maybe something every 2 weeks. But you will see the difference in interaction, crowd interaction. Even people that don't know who you are, you know, those playlists will change on Spotify and iTunes. Like, you'll see streams go up. I mean, this is some form of operant conditioning, I feel, because what it is, you know, what the system is telling you is we need content creators to provide content.
Yeah.
If you provide content, that's the key to this. If you provide content, people will pay attention to you, but you
Absolutely.
have to work for it. And a lot of people miss
Absolutely.
that shit, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Divides the men from the boys.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that is one of those things now, because we're at the point now where it's just a constant level of that's the job, that's the work that you legitimately have to put in, where you will see people that have great content, but they're like, okay, I drop every 3 years.
Right.
And one of those people, and you'll see people who I would say their content might not be as acclaimed, but they're like, yeah, but I put out something every Tuesday. I put out something twice a week. I put out something every other day. And at a certain point, you're just kind of like, well, I mean, you see what we look at. Like, you know, you pick up your phone. There's certain people that it's almost like, well, I need to go see if they drop. I need to go see if they put something out. I need to go see that. So, you know what? Let's actually look at some of your content. You had like an animated like freestyle type thing. Like you animated a video, or the video was animated. Like, what were your thoughts behind like let me do an animation? I just thought it just looked cool to me.
This looks awesome. Your mouth moves like that Apple what is that emoji thing that they do?
Yeah,
It's
man.
hilarious.
Shout out to Twin Network who did that for me.
Yeah.
I'm building the universe, and as a matter of fact, usually when I look at that, when I'm in the studio and I work, I look at a screen like this with images to build my music on. I like the animation look. It just came to me. I channel creativity, so I like, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna rock the Clean Dirt hat, which is, clothing line I support, I love, friend of mine's. That's his clothing line. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna animate myself, but I need somebody to do it. Found this cat from Africa, in Nigeria.
Really? Okay.
That does all my my illustrations. So I was like, I'm gonna run with a capsule. I'm just gonna do illustration. I see it as print, something you could wear. I see it in layers. You know what I'm saying? I see the cover, the music, wearing it. I'm building a universe. So that's why illustration, it captures you. You look at it, and I want people to look at me and pay attention to what I'm doing. Because you may not even like my music, but you might like that. So you'll buy that.
Absolutely.
You can get all of this. You can purchase the Charm Guide in many forms, So, you got the music and music business. So I really do paint the picture like that. I look at it like, but I love that. And so it just really came to my mind. I did it. I ran with it. That's how I work. That's how I operate. And then I built the music from there. I felt like, okay, I make smooth music. I make late. I'm not gonna overrap you. I just want to put you in a mood, and then I might get you in different moods, record to record, whatever, and then I just go from there.
That's crazy. You said you just found an animator from Nigeria
On Instagram.
So, and that's one of the things where it's like you can go online and you can find an animator. You can find a guy that does T-shirts. You can find a guy that does hats. You can find people that make their own clothing lines. You can find your own videographer, all that stuff. But you actually have to go find them. And you got to vet them, and you got to figure out what it is. So when you're looking for an animator, what is it that you're looking for? Because I know somebody's out there like, yeah, I'd like an animator, but how do I check an animator?
I mean, I feel like it has to. What's up here, they just have to replicate that. I want to. It has to look pristine. It has to look clean. I have. I judge myself like you judge me. You probably heard a song and said, he could have did that, and maybe I was like, yeah, I could have done that. but the whole point is to keep pushing and putting out content, and you grow with me. You know what I'm saying? Because art for me is something where is like, it doesn't always have to be perfect. DJ Screw, Rob J, made this point. It was very true. He's a person that just really lived in the moment. I mean, you naming songs and shit after dates. So he's really just about the moment and putting it out. So I'm like that too. But when I'm looking for an illustrator or animator, it's just, does it coincide with how I like things to look? How I want you to perceive me. So it looks pristine. It looks clean. I liked it because there's a lot of people that do that.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
He was like, yeah, that's it. And I went with him, man.
Now earlier too, and this is a word. I mean, you and I talked a little bit before the interview, and we were talking. You just mentioned earlier, it's like there's making music, and then there's a music business, and you had a lot of thoughts on that, and I want to make sure because I was like, when you were talking, I was like, man, this is interview stuff. So we're gonna kind of rehash some of that. So
I can speak on it, man. I think there's a lot of artists here in Houston that are dope, and people are really good at creating music here. Okay, I think so. I mean, anybody really can. As far as the facilitation of it all and the business side of it, I don't really know outside of the people that are legends, like a Jay Prince or something like that. I don't really know who else. I mean, now you got Carl Crawford, 1501. I mean, those are people that are stepping up to the plate and doing some major things. But outside of that, I really can't tell you, outside of yourself, how many writers or how many photographers or how many PR agents or how many A&Rs I could go to that are stationed here, that's all they want to do, and they're all about creating a scene. I mean, these people have no clue about how scenes work. They haven't watched any Motown documentaries, so they don't even have a schematic, and they have no passion in this thing we call the music industry, and that's an issue. So at Fresh Sonic Studios is where I'm at all the time. They're full time. It's my home. I run sales with the owner, who is also a friend of mine, Marcus, and it's a golden platinum plaque studio. And what we're doing over there is we have a production team out of there, Suicide Squad, which is I'm a part of that. Getting placements currently right now. We had like OTB Fastlane came through. Some of the guys that's really popping. You know, Lil Jeremy was in there, did a song with a guy named Young Martez, who we're sponsoring, helping blow up. Okay. Like, you know, who is already really on the cusp anyway. But we're just assisting as far as like our ideology and how content goes. This is how you can do it. Having a guy that just wants to be an A&R, study this artist, see how he can improve himself, what can he do here, creating a system, an infrastructure out of this place that we eventually want to be the blueprint for the entire city. So it's gonna take people to step up and think like that to change it from the business perspective. Because a lot of people, even when it comes to shows, a lot of guys y'all had up here, I've had them on shows like Rob, Peas, quite a few times. Cab a long time ago did a show with us. We were great at facilitating shows and putting on shows and building bills. People don't even understand that. They don't even know how to do that. How to get paid, how people paying the artists.
Because we get a number of people that's one of the artists' kind of biggest complaint is like, man, I'm not gonna do no show, y'all don't pay.
Yeah, because I mean, artists should not sell tickets. Look, as a promoter, this is what you do. You find the person that is really gonna sell the tickets to your show, and then you build the bill from there. This whole concept of
dropping gems on.
Yeah, because this whole thing about okay, I want you to sell 10 or I want you to sell 50 tickets. Here's where that gets hazy, because if the person has the money to pay for the tickets and they're not getting the people there, you still at a little issue here. And I've seen promoters have decent acts at a show and nobody's there. My goal is to get bodies there, because more than the money, the people are really the leverage. That's the currency. So if they're like, hey, that's like Waxaholics, for instance.
Yeah.
I mean, with Reeks and those guys have done, and Pope and those, Demo, all those guys over there, that's a brand now.
Absolutely.
People want to be involved, and they have really given a blueprint on how you can do that and not just be doing trap music.
And people that aren't necessarily, I would say, at the cutting edge or at the forefront of what is always happening in music, they'll definitely be like, oh, but the Waxaholics is doing something on Thursday. The Waxaholics is doing something on Tuesday. The Waxaholics is doing something on Saturday. I might not know everything that's going on in the city. I might not know everything that's going on in music.
Right.
But if the Waxaholics are doing something, I know them, so I will go because I know what they do and I know the event that I'm going to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, man. So people just really, I think what it is you have a lot of people taking up space that just want to be seen. Mm-hmm. They want to be in the VIP. They want to be backstage. I've seen a lot of fans. It's a lot of fans trying to do this.
In the video.
Yeah,
I thought the same thing, yeah.
It is. It's a lot of fans. And so the artist suffers. There's no one. Well, people have to understand, and when you're designing a movement, you could go look at Motown. What made that such an impactful thing is that there were so many artists that were putting out great content. It was highly concentrated. It was there, and they had a system in how they did it, and that attracts people. People they like to look at a group of things because it's psychological. You want to now follow that. You don't want to see one doing it. You don't want to see two.
Yeah.
You really want to see a wave.
Everybody.
So you look at any. I mean,
like
whether
TD, what's it? How did you forget Dreamville?
Rockefeller.
I mean, of course, Rockefeller.
Right.
No, but I mean, and then the other thing too is you get the opportunity to branch out. Certain people will get a cachet. Look, I love Beanie Siegel. Right. Beanie Siegel, one of my favorite rappers.
Yeah.
Beanie Siegel don't get the look that he gets if he's not with Rockefeller. Where it's literally you get people like, well, I see Jay, I see Bleak, I see all them, and he with them, so he must be good. And then it's like, okay, let me give him a chance. And then people is like, okay, now I'm actually going to listen to you. That's a big thing,
Sure
getting
is.
that cachet from people so that you can listen.
I bought Dragon's album. Just saying.
But
Yeah.
no, that's how it works.
Swiss Beats tricked a lot of us, but go ahead.
I'm not that big of a fan of Swizz.
Nah, me either, man.
Yeah.
I think the show that I went to, you guys were talking about that. We were talking about production.
That's probably a case,
Yeah.
but if it was on VRC, that's Virtual Reality Caravan with Hash and all them, there's some definite strong feelings when Swiss Beats or Nas comes up. If Nas or Swiss Beats comes up,
there's a fight.
The opinions can get Swiss Beats Nas, or if you told Hash that
Prince.
Michael Jackson, you prefer Michael Jackson to Prince. That's one of those things where it's like that'll definitely activate the room. Like they're like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah,
So,
we've had some lengthy discussions about all of that.
Yeah,
but, yeah, man. I mean, you look at other places too. Like you look at the LA rock scene. You know,
Oh my goodness.
80s, you know, 90s,
Yeah.
same thing. You know, there are waves. If you look at, you know, the Eagles when they came out in the
Skid
scene in
Row,
Southern
man.
California, yeah, all that. So, I love this game. I study it and I see how it operates and works, and I see the pieces that we're missing here and
Yeah.
what needs to improve, man. So I'm just in my space. I'm just doing it.
Because I think ours is just an infrastructure thing. Even when you talk about like the rock scene, where it's we've talked about this, where these are wildly different alternative bands, if you want to call them that. But like the Suffers, Krog Band.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, I forgot.
I know
name.
who
the
you're
girl,
talking
the
about.
girl with the hair. I love. She's got that '80s kind of synth
They-
sound.
The Tom Toms.
The
Tom
Tom-Toms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
Tom
Tom
Toms.
Toms opened up for the Suffers at their last thing. It was in the Heights. That's an amazing band. Like that's a band that can stand out on its own. That opened up for a band that can stand out on their own. And when you talk about like Krogman, I tell everybody Krogman was like my album of the year.
Yeah.
Like last year.
They're moving for real.
Oh, absolutely.
They're moving
First
up.
of
They're
all,
on that
people don't
what's
know
that beer, the Corona commercial?
Yeah, Krogman is on a beer commercial.
Yeah.
Like every time, and I'm like, every time it comes on, I'm like, "Dog, is my phone going off, or like, is my phone playing the song?" And it's like it's playing in the background of the commercial. But and they've been in a couple. They've had not a
Movies.
couple, a few movie spots,
Yeah.
a few television spots. But it's crazy where it's like
Best album ever.
one of the guys from there is from Beans and Cornbread.
Mm-hmm.
Two, you've got these. Like
didn't know that.
people.
Oh, yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
First of all, one of the guys from Beans and Cornbread is part of Krogman. That's the one that plays the drums. The other one plays the organ for the Houston Rockets.
games.
Wow.
Wow.
So
Multifaceted.
that's it.
They're doing what you're talking
and they-
about.
Probably
and
won't
they-
be doing that much more anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because they're blowing up.
They still put out mixtapes. They still
Yeah.
put out music. They still are out here doing production work. But that's my thing, where it's like the talent is here.
It is.
It's
The
here.
talent is here. The infrastructure,
It's
not so much. Not so much.
Yet.
Not so much yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, so you talked about things like putting on shows. That's one of the things that you've been able to do. What are some of the other things where you're talking about now the group that you're working with? What are some of the other things you're doing to work with talent or get more music out there?
Man, honestly, I want a little Motown over where I'm at. And so one of the key things in doing that is you're going to have songwriters and producers.
Okay.
That's just what you're going to have to have. So with Suicide Squad, man, together, we are producing a high volume of music. Like, it's just a lot. So Young Martez is a guy out of Fifth Ward that is heating up. I mean, he's hot. He's had a lot of great success in Houston, putting out music, and we've been working with him. We sponsored him to come over and work with us, and give him production as well, and just really see him grow even further into some situations he's going to be coming into that are going to be amazing for him. So we want to do that with a lot of artists that are on the cusp, that are in Houston, that have a sound that, because we want the next Maxo. We want the next Lil Jeremy. I'm really in tune with what's going on with the young people because I know that that's the wave. Look, a lot of times, man, we get disconnected. You know, those of us that's older, we get disconnected with what's going on. But
True.
these young guys in Houston, man, they got it. You
Yeah,
know, so I'm trying to hone
absolutely.
in all of that. On top of getting placements, a lot of those placements I can't talk about right now. They're coming. They are coming. They're major placements, like, you know, million record selling artists. But because we've had them come through our studio already. One notable person that we've had at our studio is NBA Youngboy, who has come really, you know, hardhead. Marcus, I'm sorry. Because I don't know if he like me calling him hardhead as much lately, but Marcus, Hardhead Richard, a lot of those early recordings of, you know, after he kind of had a buzz, NBA had a buzz, he came to Houston, recorded at Fresh Sonic. So, I mean, like, dude, like, we have people coming into the studio from Louisiana. I mean, they're traveling from Monroe, Baton Rouge, and they're blocking like 5-10 hours.
That's
like,
great.
They just want to be there. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, Baton
Fresh
Rouge,
Sonic
NBA
Studios.
Young, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So-
what's up.
So, but yeah, I mean, we have that. You know, we have a custom microphone in there too that we built. We are, to me, one of the most efficient studios because our vocal chain, our production value is, you know, really second to none. You can come in there and in an hour, we've designed our system to where you can come in, even by yourself if you wanted to, use a template, come in, do your song, and you could distribute it that day. It's gonna sound good. We're not giving you all the rigmarole where, okay, yeah, just track it with us and then we'll mix later. Like, if you want to walk out of there with that song, you can. If you want to put some more time in the mix, you can as well. Because our whole thing is the future. What's the future looking like? The future is quick.
Yeah.
You got stuff like Lander out where you just throw your song in there and master it. So we're matching that. You know, there is room for music studios. You just have to adapt to where it's at. So, I mean, that's where we're at, man. I mean, it's a lot of great stuff going on over there. Like I said, you know, as of recent, probably some of the most notable as far as like local artists. OTB came and got a Suicide Beat. Lil Jeremy was working with Young Martez over there. So we getting guys like that.
Yeah.
And I might be missing a few, but I don't know.
I'm a fan of Lil Jeremy. I like the way
Yeah.
he spells his name.
He's dope.
Yeah.
It was amazing to watch him work. Honestly, to watch him work and put together, you know, his verse for a song was amazing. I mean, the guy's a professional. That guy's a professional. He's definitely, you know what I'm saying, to
Oh,
the
yeah.
moon. So, I mean, that's the kind of stuff we got coming over there, man. Definitely heating up, definitely getting eyes on us, and I'm just going to be
Hey,
part of it.
You also said you like to keep your eyes on like the younger class or just younger. What do you say, or what are you seeing as like one of the biggest, well, let's just say differences between a lot of the younger kids that are coming up and the older?
They get it. They get it. They understand what this reality is. They know that they must put out content. They're not locked in by any type of restraint of how to make the music. They make it. They're singing. They are singing. They are really into music making. There's melodies there. Like, I could get real nerdy with this, and a lot of people miss this. But I see in the youth, you know what? That's why I know that this is my time, even though I'm older than a lot of these dudes, is that I've always wanted to make this type of music, and these young people are doing it, and we knocking them. We're being real old fogey about it, like crying and shit, because it's like,
old folk.
but look, dude, these dudes are using melodies. They understand song arrangement. They know how it should sound. They're singing. They're actually singing.
Yeah.
Okay, even the women, they're rapping. The women are rapping.
No, they're
I
rapping
love the
their
women
ass
right
off.
now.
Yeah, yeah.
Megan Thee Stallion, like, I love that shit. Like, they're rapping.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they just get it. They understand where they're at with this. You know, they're on shit like Triller. I think it's what it's called, like Triller and TikTok. I mean, you know, you got guys out here sweating to get a damn 3 weeks for a video that they did to a song, and they're just doing Triller
Yeah,
videos.
let's put it out.
Who was
And
the
putting it
guy-
out.
Who was the guy we interviewed? That Nanas. He just had the song Nanas with Lil Kiki.
Oh God.
Man, now it's gonna,
Yeah, I
it's
know,
gonna
it's
wreck
gonna
me.
bother
But
me,
either
too.
way, I mean, he'll look him up as we're doing it. But his was crazy because we would see him all the time, and he was putting out these high quality videos. And when we were interviewing him, I was like, you know, what's the next video you got? And he was like, oh, I don't know which one we're gonna release. for which song? I was like, well, which ones you got for the songs? He's like, all of them. We did a video for all the songs. Like, he goes, I don't, like, at this point, at this day and age, you should have a video for everything.
That's so smart. And he
Like,
had
at
creative
this point,
stuff. TBW Sir Spitter.
TBW Sir Spitter. It's literally like you have, and you see, I'll bring up what you're talking about. We're making fun of him. The kid out of A-Leaf, Tisa Korean.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the ones where it's like
vibes, man.
He has a kind of young thuggish, sing-songy, just offbeatish flow, and you would see people at first online like just making fun of him, like this is what's wrong with the new hip hop or whatever. But he kept making songs, and then like if you listen to songs, I'm like, some of these songs catchy, and the kids are listening to him. Like that's just it. And he puts out a song every day. And he does something every day. And he keeps doing it every day. And meanwhile, you're over here trying to track stuff together to get your album ready and might shoot a video. And he's not thinking about putting together an album. He's literally like, I'm putting together a song and a video, and that's going to be out tomorrow. Then another song and a video, that'll be out tomorrow. Then another song and a video, and that'll be
just
out.
Pumping them out.
And then maybe I'll put an album. Fader came and interviewed him.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden now you've got these things coming down and they're like, oh, what are you doing? Because now you have 1 million streams. Now you have people looking at it. Now that's the cachet, and you've got these people that have been looking,
putting out demo
and laughing,
tapes.
looking and laughing, and they're like, well, how can I do that? How can I get the, how come these people ain't looking at me? And I was like, because you dropped one thing and then you left it.
And it was boring. Nobody wanted to hear it.
Nobody wants
boring.
to hear it. You
Yeah.
have no,
You know,
yeah.
Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, I'm a fan of his. I watch him all the time. Something he talked about was, in this day and age, is a day. Every day you wake up is a day to bat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As an artist, so maybe Charm God LP didn't really work. Maybe Rearview Mirror didn't really work. But maybe this Call First that drops tomorrow. Maybe it works. Like maybe it works. And it's like you got, I think people are willing to give you that many chances in a day and age where you could totally be forgotten after you put out something today. So you have to stay in someone's face. They want to see you working. They want to see you creating elements, and they want to see you living in the bullshit that you're trying to sell them. And so, these that's why I said the kids get it, man. They living in it.
So real.
It's a cat named Young Dej. That's how you pronounce his name out of A-Leaf. Is that how you say it?
Young Deji does
Young
stuff
Deji,
with
okay,
Tisa
yeah.
Green. Yeah, same
Yo,
thing.
man, that
Incredible.
dude. I listened to his album and I was like,
Yep.
13
like,
Reasons Why.
Yeah, that's the one we heard. It was
amazing.
yeah.
They told us to. We had a friend, and he goes, "Hey, I used to
AC
teach
on
him,"
blast,
and he goes, "I want you to go
A-Leaf.
listen to this album." It was like 13 Reasons Why, and we went. I wasn't even gonna really listen to it, but he had a video for it. He was dancing into one of the little stores. I was like, "Oh, I know that store."
Yeah.
And he danced into it, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." And then he just kept on putting out music, and he kept on putting out music.
so y'all get it. Y'all
And,
see what
and,
we're
and
going with
then
this.
it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, and he does
Within
that
6 months.
First of all, he does that dance. He does that. Oh no, he's one of the ones because we were supposed to get an interview with him.
Yeah.
And then he immediately, like, we were texting back and forth, and then he's like, "I have to fly out to Atlanta." We're like, why? He goes, things are moving, and then it's like the next thing we know, he's signing with major
Wiz
artists,
Khalifa,
signs
man.
with Wiz Khalifa, and now he's shutting down the Popeyes out in A-Leaf shooting the video. And then
Dope.
he said, but that's the thing where it's like, these are people that are, in spite of what you might think, like, oh, I don't like that. Why he's singing and dancing? You know what I mean? It's like, whatever. I'm going to just keep on doing it. And like when, this was probably this summer, Young Deji and Tisa Green came down and had a show together. That was like downtown.
Yeah, and
It was a nice little show.
Yeah.
Like,
It popped off.
Yeah.
And that's the silver lining in this thing is that while we talk about infrastructure, I think that we need to create the infrastructure to capture what's about to happen. Houston is about to really go to another place, and I see it. And it's
sense.
It's the young people. And so I'm like, yo, we need to create something that's going to capture that and just, take care of it, so it
Yeah.
doesn't get
Yeah.
distorted and all lost
And
in the
keep it
sauce.
in house because some
Yeah.
people go. I mean, because look, like last summer it was Travis Scott. This summer it was Meg Thee Stallion. These are big artists. We're not when we strike hard and we knock it out. So I'm like, golly, Houston's the best. Like it's a thing. Plus,
Yeah,
I mean,
Houston has had the last 2 summers.
and that's
the
big.
major artists of the summer. Wendy's is out here tweeting about Hot Girl Summer.
And that's
like,
it. Even
that-
I say hot girl summer with my homeboy. It don't even sound right being like, "Hey, we finna have a hot boy summer." I'm like, yo, we finna go over there for the hot girl summer. Like it sounds like. I mean, but
Yeah.
I agree
Yeah.
with you guys' point when it comes to. I don't think a lot of people realize how old they've become, and just like how things have changed. I was in the barbershop today, and I was asking about whatever. I was asking about 21 Savage and the Baby, and they was like, I don't listen to him. And I go, oh wait, y'all don't like why? And it was like, I only listen to old stuff. And I was like, well, rap is in the best position it's ever been. And I'm like, I think you kind of stop paying attention. Like when people say the Migos can't rap, and I'm like, they're like Bone Thugs and Harmony if they made singles. But you like Bone Thugs, but you can't listen to the Migos. Like, just give it a chance. Like,
or even watching 21 Savage was lumped into
mumble rap. Yeah.
First of all, everybody
Disrespect.
was a mumble rapper. For like a whole year, they was like all mumble rappers, and then one of them break out with something like, okay, well, Young Thug ain't a mumble rapper no more. Now the rest of
Who
y'all
is
are.
a mumble rapper?
Okay, now 21 Savage ain't a mumble rapper no more. Now the rest of y'all are. Now the Migos ain't mumble rappers. The
Never
rest
mumbled.
of y'all are. And now it's like, did you ever listen to their music? Not one time. I told people 21 Savage speaks quite clearly.
Yeah.
So
does the Baby
it was
and all. I'm
literally
like,
you
come on,
saying like, oh, I just think that these guys are I'm just lump them in because I don't know them.
Yeah. You're old.
I think also too, man, a lot of people just aren't music lovers like they say.
No.
I think a lot of whatever the soundtrack has been of your life is what you will tend to migrate back to. Your mind isn't open to just really listening to other music. I mean, when you really have a conversation, try to have an in-depth conversation with people about music, you could tell like you really don't fuck with music like that.
That's
you
true.
just kind of like the soundtrack of your life, because some of this shit is like, dude, I'm not gonna listen to that for the rest of my life. And you're right, that's a great parallel. Is Migos and Bone Thugs, because I mean, Bone Thugs, that was mumble rap too.
Yeah, if you think about it.
If you think about it, that's what it's saying.
But it's
I
like
mean,
you like what you like because, like you said, soundtrack of your life.
Well, I think my thing is once people started sounding like my dad, the way he talked about our music, then I was like, okay, y'all are
right.
Y'all are flipping up because I understood my dad was, oh, you really like that Method Man, Mary J. Blige. I remember he was like,
I knew that.
I said, I actually do like that version. I like the original as well. I like You're All I Need, the original, but I also like this one. And so it's one of those things where you would see people like
the Beyonce.
I saw
before I Let Go. Old people, I mean, young people be like, no. Older people be like, we want the original version. You don't got love for both, but you like that Mary J. Blige and Meth.
Nah, I was at
the
Ski Master Slump God concert.
Yeah,
and he redid the Missy song. She's a bitch.
Wow.
Like, I was like, this is cold. Like, I said, this is cold, but I was like, the funny thing too about it is this also exposes people to, because I will say one thing, the kids listen to way more music than I think the kids are a lot more freer. They dance, they cross brands when they dress.
Yeah.
Like, they wear whatever colors they want to wear.
Yeah.
And they are more open to more music where you can take a kid's headphones off and you're like, what do you listen to Alanis Morissette? Like,
so I do like
they will listen.
They don't have
to
nigga ears.
anything
like
because
I love
of,
that.
well, also because of streaming. we had to pay for music.
Yeah.
I told you.
You're right.
I bought Cannabis's first album and
So
I
did I.
listened to it over and over again and I hated it. But I was like,
I spent
paid
$12 on
yeah.
this.
I was like, I gotta listen to this.
I never noticed it, but I'm saying that's what I liked about you when you walked in. And you was like, "Yeah, I listen to this and that," and I was like, "Oh, you don't have nigga ears," because it's one of the stressful things when I get in the car and I go, "So, what do you listen to?" They go, "Everything." I'm like, "So if I turn on this Manson, what are you gonna say?" I don't listen to that. I'll be like, "You listen to rap and R&B," and just say it. Like,
you gotta have a good approach. I mean, like, I don't know, like I'm a Steely Dan fan. So I feel like, okay,
Like the
I like
groove.
some of that jazzy.
Yeah.
I need some of that on this track. How do I channel that? And if you're an artist, like, great artists, whether they tell you or not, this is Jay-Z or your favorite artist, they're doing this. They're
Yeah,
listening
absolutely.
to that, how to put these records together and how the artist is going about, making the sounds. So they listen to that shit, man. You can't just sit up here and listen to rap all fucking day. You just can't. I mean, or maybe you can, but I don't, man. A lot of times when I leave the studio too, I don't want it. I've heard it all day, so I'm like, I'll listen to something else, man.
Yeah.
I love Anderson .Paak. I love the internet. Really love the internet. I listen to that a lot. I've been listening to a lot of that lately. I think Anderson .Paak is a genius.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
I think the internet is. That's a great band. Great.
Sure.
The crazy thing about the internet is they come from that Odd Future camp
Yes.
that also got the moniker like, oh, y'all weird.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Now look at them.
now you look at it, it's like Tyler the Creator's creating this incredible music that everybody's like, oh, this is amazing. But I was like, if you had been following this kid along the path, instead of saying, oh, you suck, you ate a roach. Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or
Frank
like,
Ocean,
same thing
man.
with the internet, same thing with Frank Ocean. It's like all these kids came out of that camp. So they were doing something.
Yeah, Earl sweatshirt. Like, come
People just
on.
didn't get it, man. Y'all know who Skills is, the rapper Skills?
Yeah.
So I was at a friend of mine's house, Chris Schaefer, who works with Jazzy Jeff now, doing all this videography. And at the time, Chris was doing a lot of stuff with Skills. And so Odd Future, that shit was just coming out, and he had some opinions about it. And he was just like, he was kind of like old fogey with the shit too. Like, yeah, I get it. I see who put them on. I get it. Okay, but what's next? And it's like, that's usually the problem. It's like we don't exploit what's good in that situation. And Chad had, I think, a big part of that too, because I know he's worked with the internet. So it's like, somebody said, hey, let's exploit Tyler the Creator and see where else this goes. And man, look at it, man. It's beautiful now.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
And I always thought it was, at first it was a little weird. It was weird.
I think Floss and I would say the same thing, where I was
But
like,
it grew, and
those
it's
first
like-
few albums, but then the melodies, like, you could hear the Neptune's influence in his
Oh, yeah.
music. And then I'm just like, this is really good, like, nice, lush melodies. I don't understand how you
Sevenths,
just don't
man.
like this. Like, that's kind of one of those things where it's like, you got to at least be open to it, because a lot of your favorite rappers love listening to a lot of, I tell people all the time, I love the Diplomats and a lot of rappers out of Jersey like Joe Budden because the amount of 80s music they listen to.
Yeah.
Like Cameron's
We
the
built
world for me.
this
Like,
city.
I'm like, come on
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Y'all are sampling
Yeah, Roxanne.
80s music.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, if you can't tell me, you can't tell me, I don't like Sting, but then you go listen to What Mean the World to Me.
Yeah, what
Like,
the world,
yeah.
yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, man, it's wild. And I think people do like more music than what they let on. I think sometimes people may think it's soft or weak to say, hey, I just listen to this sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I love the Beatles, man. Like, I really,
Yeah.
really, really, really love the Beatles, and I have my reasons why. I feel like at a time when, we were doing mono recording, they were really creative with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With the amount of tracks they had to work with, and how just sonically the music was coming together. They were really into I'm sure they were smoking a lot.
They had to be able to create all those soundscapes.
Yeah.
To go from a Helter Skelter to like, what is that? Sergeant Pepper, like
Yeah,
that whole
dog.
entire album.
Intros.
Oh my
They doing
goodness.
intros, outro, like interludes and shit. I'm like,
And then
dude.
what's crazy is when you watch commercials, like I got onto them late, but then you watch commercials, you like, oh wait, the Beatles made like all the songs on
All
every
the
commercial
songs,
of all time
every
ever.
commercial.
Like really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They are
So,
well, Michael Jackson got rich. So
he knew what he was doing. Paul, you was never gonna get those
my
that publishing
gosh.
back ever. You know
No.
what I'm saying? So I mean, it
To
just
get finessed by Michael Jackson.
I know.
In that voice.
he was a great businessman.
was a great businessman.
Incredible businessman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just love to be a fly on the wall or just the third person in that call where he's like, Mike, you bought my music. He goes, I bought it for me.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
kind of thing where it's like,
I got
You-
my catalog
you-
and yours.
you
Like,
told me that the only way to make money was to buy a catalog. I bought yours. Like that.
What's the
kind of thing.
problem?
Exactly. Where it's like, this is a
Golly, this
business
is
opportunity.
powerful.
Yeah, the dude was extremely business oriented.
Yeah, man. So I mean, I mean, he had some great, mentors. I mean, you talking about Barry Gordy, around Barry Gordy,
Yes.
around Smokey Robinson,
Yes.
around all these singers. He really learned the business, man. And that's why, I don't want to get into the whole Prince Michael Jackson conversation, but I will say from a business perspective and understanding what he was doing, they were light years apart.
Yeah.
Prince was a great artist, but as far as what Michael Jackson was doing and where he went and what he was trying to do, Prince could never touch him. It's just true.
I'm gonna take this video.
I mean,
and
it's
I'm
true.
gonna send it to Hash.
No. Hash
No, I'm messing with
Hash
you.
knows. Hash knows I will go on record in saying that I feel like Prince is the greatest artist,
Yeah.
As do I.
and I think that
Yeah.
Michael Jackson is the greatest
Jackson's a
entertainer.
better businessman.
But for sure, a businessman.
Oh,
He could
absolutely.
never. He just understood it. He knew where he wanted to go, and that's what he did.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about putting these albums together. I had this argument the other day, like Off the Wall and Thriller. I mean, just what went into the album and just picking Quincy and then having Greg Filling Gaines and Rod Temperton and all these people in
The right musicians.
Yeah, going to get I forgot his first name, but Horner that did all the horns. He worked with Earth, Wind and Fire, did it on those records as well. It's like people, I'm saying, like, if you just get into the DNA of this shit, man,
Yeah.
you'd be like, that's why he's who
Yeah.
he is. You know what I'm saying? So I love it. I study this shit, dude.
And
I
if
feel
people
you.
have the experience, like
Yeah.
if people have the musical know-how and the knowledge of that, then they know who to go get. And that only happens when you have an expanded mind. You don't know, let me go get the horns from the guy. Let me go get the guy that did the horns for Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
If you don't listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire and
No.
just know, I like them horns. Like, it's crazy to me. I mean, I know people just like them right now, but that's the vein of what Kanye West would be doing when people like, yo, I remember he was talking about
Portishead.
he goes, I don't know how to get that bass sound that Portishead gets. He goes, I just love that sound. So he went and found the person that
found
did it.
John Bryan.
He goes, I want to find out. I want that sound. And when that guy put that sound, and then people are like, oh man, this Kanye album's fire. Like,
Yeah.
it's all
That's
that
why
little
Diamonds
stuff.
Are Forever is the
Yes.
greatest beat of all time ever.
Wow.
Period.
Yeah.
It's the most instrumentation. To me, I'll stand by it. I said it.
Still
Here's
like
right here.
Can't Tell Me
I'm
Nothing.
standing by it. Can't Tell Me Nothing was very stripped down. A DJ too.
I know,
did
but
a
I love
great
it.
job.
I love it.
But the keys, everything. Like
Yeah.
I tell people, if you want to get into production, sit there and listen to. Well, that's really hard to do. But sit there and
Yeah.
listen to that one. But if you want to get into production, recreate like something easy. But like, yeah,
Devil
that's
in a
one.
New Dress is
Devil in the
Pretty
New
easy.
Dress.
Oh,
there.
that's up there.
I know
Yeah.
Bink did the first. I think he actually produced that, and
Okay.
then Kanye got on it and
Yeah.
did what he did. But I mean, still, it's like,
Bink got some joints, man.
yeah, man.
Yeah, Bink
He
got.
does.
He still got one of my favorite Joe Budden song of all time, "For You." Bink made that beat, and I'll never forget that beat. And a lot of people are like, "What? Google that. You will not like." Yeah. Joe Budden featuring Royce the 5'9", but
Yeah.
blah blah blah. Yeah,
Royce.
we're like
Oh,
we are
yeah,
music
yeah.
heads as well. Like
Yeah.
everything
Yeah,
you
we
talking
get
about,
that.
I'm like, oh, got it. I was right there with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is good. That
Yeah.
makes shit like this really good.
It makes
why
it a
I'm
lot
like,
easier.
nerd
But
it out.
now for the fans at home, we need to make sure they got to focus on Boy. So,
Yeah.
Boi Dru, let's talk about the music that you have coming out. First of all, y'all have seen this interview, so y'all already know the amount of intricacy that he puts into his own music.
Yeah.
So, with your production, what is it? The Suicide?
What's that? Do. I don't know. Hey, hey, welcome back, guys. It's me, Boy
How's
Dru,
it
the Charm
going?
God. Okay, but so yeah, Suicide Squad. I'm a part of that production team. All the music that you heard thus far, though, I produced it. With the exception of what's coming out tomorrow. EP Mo actually produced the first track, which is a SWV sample. So I'll let y'all check that out.
Oh, yeah.
But I pretty much like all the stuff that y'all were listening to. I produced that, and then everything that you'll hear. Well, everything on this record was me and Suicide Squad tomorrow. But up to this point, I've done it, and so I work closely with them and coming up with what things sound like, what things should sound like, and then I'm just really, man, I'm making moments. I don't really care. You either fucking with me or you're not. I'm not trying to be like, I'm not trying to out rap anybody. I'm not. I'm not trying to. I'm just doing what feels good, and I'm just giving moments out, and I'm okay with that because that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
and I can do that. And so, yeah, man, I just want to give you a vibe. I'm a big fan of Larry June right now. So I would say our music would probably sit in the same universe.
Okay.
But it's my style, you know. So the whole Charm God thing is, I call it Mac music, Mac shit 101. You know, it's like, it's cool, it's vibey, it's some shit you could spit, you know, to the lady.
It's like a laid back.
You know,
sound.
and it's like you can smoke to it. I'm a smoker, so it's definitely smoking music. Smoke every day. I love it, man. It feels really good. I'm in a good space. About maybe 2 years ago, I was in a group called In the Clouds with a guy named Jay Kell. Y'all should check him out too, man. It's got dope music.
We've already been talking to him.
Y'all been talking to Jay
Oh,
Kell?
yeah.
Okay.
He's gonna come down. We have to get the timing right.
Yeah,
to
definitely
book him
talk to
out.
him, man.
Yeah.
We were in a group together, but it disbanded because of me. I mean, honestly, I just had a lot of personal things going on, and I got out of that space, which I was gonna do anyway. From there, I just kind of came over and did what I've been doing now. But I kind of lost my point because I was talking about that. But anyways, yeah. But no, I disbanded that group, and then I came over here to really just. I was in a bad space, man. I was making some bad decisions in my life with just, you know, women and just doing what the fuck I wanted to do, wasn't with my family. So the music quality and everything just kind of got pissed away. So when I got aligned, you know, with myself, seeing what my purpose was, got back to being righteous, it just kind of all came back. Like making music and getting into some of these soul samples and just getting the vibe right and just painting a picture and seeing, you know, just it all coming together, just like I say, from the album cover to me. Like, I am Charm God. I'm Boi Dru, Charm God, because that's really Andrew Williams. This is me. Like, anybody can tell you, me talking right now, they're like, that's that nigga Dru. Like, he talk a lot, he's animated, he's all these things, and that's me every day when I wake up and go to sleep. And I'm just giving you that in the record. You know, I'm political. I say what I want. You know, I don't, as a man, I stand on what I say, and I feel like I can say it. I don't run away from shit. I have my opinions, and you get that on the record. I don't have any filters. I'm not afraid to offend people, and I'm just putting that in the music. So when I sit down and make music, I'm looking for great melodies. I like drums to sound a certain way. I do want the bass to be there. I want you to get in the mood. I want you to be in the mood. And I'm aware that it's a niche thing, that you may not like it, and then you may like it, but I'm just doing it, and I love it. So it's like, it's sincere. So.
No, it's good.
That's real. Yeah.
And with stuff like the internet, you can always find your audience. Like I always tell people, if I was a rapper, if I could actually rap, I just love to be Currency. Like, that's the artist that I'm like, I like Currency. I like that. I like his work output. I like that he doesn't seem stressed. I like that it's just like, I'm making my money. I'm having fun in the city. I put out albums when I want to, and then, you know, whatever.
Oddly enough, though, man, so the gate to date is probably, in a lot to do with Decap and Brady, has streamed amazing numbers. Although I haven't really received a big check from that because you don't get paid for streaming like that. But it really has, man. Like, it's done amazing. This new stuff is creeping up there. Like, I think when I dropped Charm God, I think like that first day I had like 1,000 streams, which was, I mean, I was like, oh shit,
that's great.
You know, I was like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just put it out, you know what I'm saying? It was like, it streamed well, and I couldn't understand it, you know. But I think in the market, you have to test things, so you never know who's listening. And now we have all these analytics to all the people that aren't liking you. You know, you put up a picture and you got like, oh, I got 2 likes. You know, there's a lot of people paying attention to you. They're just not liking your shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just got all these streams from this, you know, these records, man, I've been putting out. So I'm like, man, I love it. I'm gonna keep doing this, and I like doing it. So yeah, I just want people to, you know, fuck with me. I'm just really giving you Boi Dru on the record. So
I mean, that's awesome, being true to self and being honest with yourself. Plus, one thing I really like about you is you love yourself. You got a shirt
I do
with yourself on it.
I do.
And I was looking at your phone. You're the background of your phone.
On the background of my phone.
Yes. Who drew that?
The same artist.
That I figured. That's what's up. I'm not knocking. I'm not making fun.
Right.
You have a big personality. I'm the same way. You got to love yourself, man.
You got to.
Yeah, you
got
got to
to.
love yourself, because,
You got to.
I mean, who else is going to love you?
Who else?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
what it is.
nobody's gonna unconditionally love you like you do. So I do love myself, but I'm not a narcissist.
No, you're not.
Yeah,
You cool as hell.
and I love people.
That's
you know what I'm
what's
saying?
good.
So I just, yeah, man, I'm with it. I'm excited for everything that's coming, and all the stuff that I'm a part of, and all the stuff that I'm working on. I just feel like I'm in a real blessed space right now.
I mean, you are blessed. So you have a project dropping tomorrow, but what is the date tomorrow?
It is 9/18/19. So
Okay.
it'll be at 12 tonight. You can just it's 12 New York time, so like 11 tonight, and whatever, you can get it. It's actually on SoundCloud right now though. I put it out because I just want people to start jamming it.
Yeah.
But no, it comes out on all digital platforms tomorrow, man. And it's not my last. I mean, like every month I'll be dropping like an EP.
All right.
So yeah, that's your goal. Every month you coming out with an EP.
Yeah, every month. I got like videos too. I'm stacking up and some crazy shit I'm doing. I don't want to say right now because I'm just gonna put it out. But yeah, I'm just working, man. I'm working and working and working. And yo, man, surprisingly, it's funny that you say this. People have been buying these shirts, man.
Nice shirt.
Surprised with people. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's 100.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Jennifer. You know what I'm saying? For definitely buying this shirt, man. Jennifer Giles. Actually, we have some acquaintances. Am I saying it right? Yeah. But I didn't even know she was still like kind of paying attention to me. And she bought my shirt. People just randomly buying my shirts, and I'm like, damn, you putting my face on you? Like, wow.
You
That's
would
100.
be surprised what people will put their money behind.
Yeah.
And it's just like, especially talking to some of the artists that are like getting into the merchandising where they're like, man, I've been trying to get y'all to buy my album, but I put out a shirt, you'd be like, oh yeah, I want that shirt.
I want that shirt.
You'll pay $30, $40 for this sweatshirt, but that's what it is. Like, people, you don't know what people are gonna buy, you don't know what people are gonna do. So
that merch money is good,
Yeah.
and it's a lot better than streams. I mean, because when
Oof.
it comes, he's like, like, so yeah, like merch money is good. And I'm gonna give another gem because I don't believe in holding this stuff. So in today, where you can do drop shipping, that's what I do. I go through Printify, I store through Etsy, and I just put whatever image I want on the shirt. People go to my store, they buy it from Etsy. That order goes to Printify. Printify sends that shirt out to them, so I don't have to keep stock. So people buy. and
Damn,
it just
that
goes
dropped
out.
another gem. That is dope.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah, I know.
it's on me. Now I can run ads, send it
On
to the
me,
product that I
baby.
see that you
Yeah.
like. Okay, now I'm getting more revenue from that. Oh, I take that money, put in more ads in my music. Like, dude, you can do anything
Reinvest.
you want
Yeah.
today by yourself, but you will need capital at some point.
Yeah.
No, absolutely,
So you need
absolutely.
capital, baby.
So
That's why-
prepare for some, in my humble opinion, shirts because they coming.
They coming.
They are. They are.
I'm gonna wear one. I'm
And I want to thank you for that. I really want to thank you for coming up here. Like, thanks
I
a
wanted
lot.
to be here, man.
Like, really, no, thank you. And plus, you make great music. You got to check them out. Obviously, where can we find you at?
Man, go to boydrumusic.com.
All right.
Everything's there. Like I made it to where you just
Everything.
go there. Everything's there. The music, the shirts, all that stuff. Look at that. So
There we go.
everything's there.
Charm God available now.
And yeah, so
I like
yeah,
that.
I got that.
I did like that picture on your Instagram. It was the cover as well.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I was
Crush
just
with the
comfortable.
crush in the corner. Yeah, you look. Yeah. It's your music.
It's my music.
That's what it looks like. that's really what it looks like.
Yeah,
it's
man.
comfortable. It's fly. But once again, I mean, thank you for joining us. In my humble opinion, where the opinions are humbled and the words aren't jumbled. I forgot what the fuck I was gonna say.
I was like, you got in the middle of it, and then I was like, oh, he got lost.
Yeah.
I don't get lost in the sauce. The sauce gets lost in me. Bye, bitches.